Going to the Oak House Museum. So this was on the day out with my mom and son to the Oak House Museum. We struggled a bit to find the entrance to the property, but eventually we did, and we got to the front door, Oak House Visitor Center. The first place you meet when you get in the reception is this gift stand where they sell souvenirs from the Oak House, and most of them are crafted here. So we spent some time admiring them and also shopping. We bought some of them to take home with us. And then we started the trail. You'll be given a booklet to guide you on your trail with some tasks that you have to perform. There's a play area for the kids and also somewhere you can sit and watch them play and also eat your snacks if you came with them. So make sure you go with the right toys and footwear for the kids so they can have fun in the sand playing. So here is the Oak House itself, and we spent some time outside taking pictures before we went into the hall, which is so beautiful. The Bible still existed in homes then and was revered. The Oak House is lovely. The furnishing has been preserved from the 1600s as much as possible. Replicas have also been created that also just showcase the time, but we're not really from that era. So this is what the servants used to wear back then, and the hall leads you into the dining area. So this was basically the living area for the family at that time. So as you go through the house, there are inscriptions and notes on the walls that kind of depicted way they lived back then and the kind of principles that they were expected to abide by. I found some interesting similarities between their culture and ours, like the use of clay pots for preservation. Now this was a dairy where they made their cheese, but some guys were doing some construction work in here, so we had to leave and we couldn't do much of the filming in there. Wow, this is the way they preserve their plants. Oh my goodness. The herbs, wow. Just the same way you told me. Let's go back. So there were depictions of the lifestyle in those days, like how the men dressed, as you can see from this mannequin. It's interesting to note that the wood that was used to build the Oak House was transported there from about 20 miles away because there were no oak trees in West Bromwich when it was built. After touring the ground floor, we went upstairs. And here's another playroom for the children where they can actually play dress up and other games, of course. And there are pictures on the wall that tell you about the members of the family that lived here. The Turtons was their name. The Turtons was their name. So the Turtons settled in West Bromwich in the 1550s, but they bought the Oak House in the 1600s, and they were at the heart of the town's early industry. See, you can play dress up here. That's for the kids. They would have fun in this room. The kids had fun in this room while we were there. Now, as I was saying, the Turtons brought ironworking, brick and tile making, and even money lending to the area, and they played a vital role in development of the area after the English Civil War. So this room back in the day would have been like a master bedroom, and then this is a toilet, and there are interesting notes on the walls about this toilet and the many uses of weed that you would never. But it was the rich people only who could have a toilet in their homes. Most regular folks used an outhouse. Most people back then could only afford to live in 1-2 bedroom houses where they did everything. So the Turtons were quite prosperous. As you can see, they lived in a house with more than one room and even more than one level. And as they grew in wealth and status, rising to the lower gentry, they expanded the house in the 1650s with brick additions reflecting their growing prosperity. Now this room was the cheese room as well as the servants room, which I found quite interesting. And of course there was a lot of instructions on the walls for the servants, some of them from the Bible, probably to stop them from eating up all the cheese. Makes the Oak House Museum truly special is that the house itself is a museum, but upstairs you will find a museum where a collection of artifacts from all over the world is kept, and that is the actual museum in the Oak House Museum. So back downstairs we found another room called the back parlor. Nice shoes. So it was common to have a bed in these back parlors back then, but it still happens even today. I see homes where you have a bed in the back parlor for infirm members of the family or people who are just not strong enough to go upstairs. Here's the barn where you have some barrels with some voices of the members of the family that lived in the Oak House back then. We're going home. We had a good time at the Oak House Museum, and now we're going. Yeah, so it was a good day. Admission is free to the Oak House, so if you need somewhere free to go this summer, visit the Oak House Museum. Bye.